Hello and welcome to Saved, Not Scammed, where we expose manipulation, uplift the truth, and where we always remember Jesus didn't need an upline, so neither do we. My name is Kayla, and I am a self-proclaimed baby Christian. I am also a consumer of anti-MLM content, and I have been for a decade now. I am now creating anti-MLM content with a focus on faith manipulation in the top 1% of multi-level marketing companies. Today we're focused on Nueva. This is the first video I've done about Nueva. They are doing wellness products from my understanding. They came after Modere shutdown. Amazing creators have done lots of information on them, and what I've noticed is that they often put faith into their manipulation tactics, specifically those who started it. It was a group of I don't know how many people who started it because their cash cow Modere went bankrupt. Whatever happened to it, who knows? It just shut down all of a sudden one day, and so within a very small turnaround period, they all of a sudden came up with a pyramid scheme, in my opinion. Ponzi scheme initially, really, where they asked people to invest in this company without even having a product. And then, they popped out some white label products. This is, of course, all my own opinion. Everything in this video is fair use, publicly available, and will have my commentary and for educational and entertainment purposes. They have tried to get people copyright striked, not just claimed, on their videos before. So, of course, the YouTube community said, absolutely not. You're going to try and do that? We'll hit back harder. So here is my time to be a part of that. This video comes from 3 days ago, which was October 13th, and it's from both Tony and Sarah Zoleski, and it says how the last 6 months rebuilt our vision, leadership, and belief in what's possible. I have yet to go through this video. This is all going to be improv, and the first time I'm seeing it, but because it said belief in what's possible, and I've also heard some, faith manipulation from them before, I have high hopes that there will be some in this. If not, I'm sure there will be some beautiful bullcrap no matter what. So let's see what we're in store from these Zolekis. Let's go.
Hey everybody, it's Tony and Sarah Zoleski.
What's happening? We decided to change our background today. What do you guys think?
We got the kids in the background today.
We're in one of our kids' areas that they love to hang out in. So anyways.
But we want to talk in this video, we want to talk about...
We're grandparents too. We're parents too. We're just like you. They're normalizing themselves. They're making themselves relatable to their viewer in an effort to gain that rapport with whoever is watching.
About, really the last 6 months and how we rebuilt our vision, right? Leadership, what's possible in this amazing profession. And for some of you that know us, we've been in the space for over 30 years, network marketing. We met actually 20 years ago at a network marketing event. How cool is that? We'll have our 20-year anniversary next week. Or in 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Hey, at least you're early. You're not late on it. So
I am early.
Good job.
I am early. And, again, this profession, it's the best thing in the whole wide world if you do it the right way. And you have...
If you think about it, what professions do you truly say if you do it the right way? Just think about it for a second. What professions do you say it's the best in the world if you do it the right way? I mean, truly, if you do anything the wrong way, it's the wrong way, right? But just think about any profession, nurse, teacher, even sales, cashier, blah, 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 blah. I mean, banking, whatever it is, farming. That sounds so weird to me.
Have ebbs and flows, though, in the profession. So the last 6 months, we found out our company was going out of business after 13 years. And you know what? We had to get our head right. We had to figure out what we were doing next. We had to figure out, okay, what's really possible doing what we're going to do now? What does our vision look like? How are we going to lead? Who are we going to start working with? How are we going to start building what we're going to go out and build, right? And I think that's a big part of this, because if you really know kind of how you're going to go do what you're going to do, it really helps, doesn't it?
Well, really what that means is like you got to get clear on what you want. You know what I mean? You got to get clear on where you're going. You know, I think that was our big thing is like, you know, we were like, okay, we're doing this, right? Because I think the one thing too, guys, is like, if you ever, there's a really cool saying that they said, you know, there is an enrollment date, meaning when you enroll and sign up in a business.
Yeah.
And then there's a decision date when you really go after it, right?
So clearly that's a network marketing only thing. I mean, true, there is an application date and then there's a, you know, or maybe an interview date and then when you actually accept the position. But this makes absolutely no sense in any other industry other than network marketing. And immediately kind of what I'm thinking as they start to ramble on is what is truly the motive behind this video? What are they trying to convey in talking about the last 6 months and their rebuilding and their vision and their leadership? In addition to that, it's always difficult for me when people aren't just blatantly, you know, speaking how, like, what's obvious. I wish they would just come out and say, like, look, we were devastated because that's how we made our living. How are we going to afford, you know, our mortgage, our, you know, insurance, whatever it is. And so, you know, we had to think fast and we had to get creative and we had to figure out who we needed to, you know, involve and who we trusted. And like that, I would respect a little bit more than this just corporate lingo of just, how are we going to rebuild? And it's like, and you're not even per se rebuilding anything. Yes, it's a per se copy and paste in terms of compensation, as far as I'm aware of Modere in many ways. But ultimately, it's completely different. You're not selling the same products. You're using the same network marketing. And yes, they're all the same. They're all pyramid schemes, in my opinion. But for them to just say rebuild, that makes no sense to me, other than rebuilding their money back. How are we going to start rebuilding all of the money that we were getting before?
It's like, I think for us, like we made a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember very vividly when we're like, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Right? We're doing this. So I think with that though, is we had to get clear on what we were going to do, right?
Yeah.
Because then that was like really like that's all like the fuel, right? To get us moving is that clarity piece, which I think some people they're not clear on.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think the biggest thing we did, because we were going from pre-launch to launch, and what that means is we need to go recruit a whole bunch of people. We had to go like tell the story. We had to go get excited. We had to take our belief and transfer it to other people. And you know, that is a big part of network marketing. And people say, you always got to talk about recruiting and selling, right? And I'm like, well, that's our business, right? If you're not recruiting people, if you're not selling product, if you're not leading people, if you don't have a great story, if you don't have a vision, I mean, who's going to follow you, right, babe?
And here's the thing. I was just thinking about this. Like,
well, I take back a little bit of what I said. He was very blunt about that. Yeah, you are absolutely right. That is what makes a pyramid scheme a pyramid scheme. The ginormous focus on recruitment, not selling the products, but the recruitment-based need that requires the ginormous amount of cash flow to go upwards so that these two people can make lots of money while everyone else underneath them makes less and less and less and less as you go down the pyramid.
the way that we brought people in with this kind of pre-launch to launch is the same way that, you know, we've been in a couple companies, right? But I think about every time that I started a company, right? We've been in, what is this, our third? Fourth, right? Fourth in 30 years now.
Yep.
30 years, right? But I think about each time, like, everyone's like, well, what'd you do when you, like, launched your business? And for me, it's like, it really was the same invitation. You know, it, like you said, it wasn't perfect at all by any.
So they just admitted right there, she just admitted that it's the exact same. Doesn't matter what product you're selling, it's the same invitation. You could make millions of dollars if you just join this opportunity.
Means, and I didn't get caught up in like the weeds of all of this stuff. Really, I got caught up in, you know, the vision of like, this is where we're going. This is what I'm doing. Do you want to be part? Like, if so, great. If not, no big deal. Right? And it's that enthusiasm piece that's really going to carry people. And I know that sometimes people are like, how can enthusiasm carry you? Because guys, it is like, most people are walking around like an empty.
Enthusiasm is not carrying her. It is manipulation. It is charisma. That is what's carrying her.
Shell nowadays. So the fact that you have a little bit of, pep in your step, a little bit of oomph, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of passion, people are going to sit up and pay attention. So yes, like the enthusiasm piece is everything. And I remember, like, just like this 90 days ago, there were people that were like, Sarah, I don't understand everything that's happening. I don't understand everything that you're talking about, because quite frankly, either did we, because we were just rolling, right? Or just getting it going. But people said, I don't want to miss it, right? Like, I want to be a part. I don't want to miss it. I don't get all of it, but I'm in. And that I mean, like, right when we had started this live, like, I kind of had this, like, oh my word, like, it was the same every single time. Whether I was brand new and I never made a dime in network marketing, that's how I talk to people, or I had made a little bit, or now we made a lot, right? But I mean, it's still the same.
And she is right. You are told in network marketing, no matter whether you make no money or you've made a lot of money, how you recruit people is the same. You tell them that they can make lots of money, whether you have zero personal proof of that or not. And that is why so frequently it's so and so, went from living in her, brother's basement, mama's basement, to living, in a beautiful mansion and retiring her husband. And I love that they are just haphazardly saying the truth out loud. So thank you so much for that, Zoleski. I give up.
I just want to encourage you guys, like, the enthusiasm piece for you is so important, right? Like, if you're enthusiastic, like, in your business, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you might not be a big personality like 29. It's the way that it is with us, right? But what I will share with you is that even if you turned it up one notch, okay, if you are a 3, if you turn it up to a 4, when you had conversations with people, they will sit up and pay attention. I'm not asking you to turn it up to a 10, because then it's fake, it's unauthentic, it's not real, and people are like, that's weird, like, you're being really creepy right now, right? But if you dialed it up just one, guys, just one little thing, you will get a lot of people that will start being like, okay, tell me more about this. Hey, let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm open to talking about, what you're doing, right? Is just that little piece alone, I'm telling you, it's gold for your business.
Yeah, and I think I've always looked at recruiting as, like, I have this gift that I want to give you, right? And I am so excited to talk to you about it. I'm so excited to share it with you. I want you to kind of open it, undress it, like, look inside of it, understand what it is, get excited about it like I'm excited about it. And that's how you got to think.
2 things. Number 1, they always say this. It's a gift. They'd be selfish not to share it with you. When in all actuality, they are being extremely selfish by offering this opportunity to you, because they're going to, if you join, make money. And you have a 99.9 chance of making no money, little money, or losing money. So with those chances, with that probability in mind, according to the FTC and income disclosure statements of many MLMs, they are being incredibly selfish. Number two, the fact that he said he wants you to understand what it is, when in all actuality, they're so incredibly vague about all the nuances that go into it. And they don't give out income disclosure statements. They don't let you know about the FTC. They rarely will put, for typical earnings, or this is not typical earnings, or to go to this website to see typical earnings, et cetera, et cetera. And she even said, I don't get into the weeds about it. So he's saying, I want you to understand it. And she's saying, I don't get into the weeds about it. So which is it? They're already contradicting themselves right now, in my opinion.
think about recruiting. So many times people have this big issue with recruiting people into their business because they don't want to bother them. They don't know what to say. They don't know what they're going to think of them. They're probably not going to want to do this. They're probably way too busy. They probably won't be good at it. They probably don't have any time to do it, right? And you have all this stuff that is really limiting beliefs that comes at you every single day, and then you're like, well, you just don't talk to anybody. You just don't reach out. You just don't have conversations.
I wonder if they're as tired of saying those same things as I'm as tired of hearing it. It is the same thing over and over and over again. The limiting beliefs, the same exact reason and excuses that they truly do in fact hear every day, are the same exact reasons that they have to tell everyone that, hey, don't be worried about hearing these things, just keep doing it. Don't worry if you get a no, just keep going. It's truly so mind-numbing, the amount that they repeat themselves, because they truly deep down know that that is a reality of network marketing, that so many more people are awake. Julie Anderson just made a recent video. It was so amazing. It was so good. And it was from Tim Sales. It was such a good one. I was cackling the entire time. And it's a 4-year-old video. And the difference between consumer education about the multi-level marketing business structure and the true nature of the business structure and your probability of genuinely being able to not only make money, let alone get a return on your investment, has been so drastically expanded within the last 4 years that nobody would fall for this Tim Sales guy's literal trash heap of a video that she was able to provide commentary on. This is just the same thing over and over again, and nobody's falling for it anymore.
Guys, let me alert something to you. It is the year 2025. Some of us that are in network marketing, or some of us that, think we understand network marketing. Guys, this is not your grandma's Amway anymore, right? And nothing against Amway. They're still thriving. They do billions, etc. But my point is that all of those things that Tony talked about are they don't even, they're not even relevant anymore. Why? Because the timepiece, guess what? Everybody can share a link. Everybody can do that while they're waiting at their kid's bus stop, while they're doing a break at lunch, while they're, coming home from work. Like, people can do that, right? I mean, people can, when you're like, oh, I don't want to bother people. It's like, guys, let's be real. Like, in the United States and Canada, people need to make money. People need to make money. And so it's like, well, hey, if you can have a simple conversation that says, hey, if I can show you how you can make an extra $200, $300 a month, part-time, 1 to 5 hours a week, would you be open? Guys, yes, right? Yes, bug them, bug them, because people are looking. But the reality is they can't justify working a second job. They can't justify going to work for somebody like their second job, driving all the way there, filling up with gas, spending that time, paying all the taxes. By the time they're done, they make no money, right? So it's like, oh my God, what if they could spend that time doing something at home where they don't have to get a sitter, they don't have to pay for gas, they don't have to do all those things, right? And plug into a simple system.
How ironic that she's trying to say that your gas money and taxes are going to take all of the funds from a secondary job, when we know that the personal volume requirement, the oftentimes annual registration for most of these companies, the pressure to be a product of the product, meaning you need to try the product, whether it be on your social media or just personally have tried it, or make videos with the products, etc., as well as being able to actually provide a decent, honest review of it to other people, are all requiring you to purchase that stuff, which means that's all directly taking your money. The fact that she's saying that taxes and gas are going to take out make it $0. Maybe a babysitter, yes, I can definitely see that, being equal to, but for those two, that's insanity.
Like, people can do that. So I think for us guys, we have to be willing to be like, it's 2025. Like, you got to get real with yourself, where it's like, people are looking. People do want to do something different. People do want a change, right? But it's us making a decision for everybody else out there, which, shame on us. We cannot decide, right?
The fact that she says that people want to do something different, network marketing has been around since Amway, whatever her name is, Sarah. It's not different. It may have a different name, it may sell a different product, but it's all network marketing, it's all multi-level marketing, and it's all, in my opinion, a pyramid scheme, meaning that 99.9% of people are going to what? Say it with me, Zoleskis. Make little money, make no money, or lose money.
Trainings on this all the time where I talk about, it is not our job to decide who the business is for. It is our job to have a simple reach out with someone and have a conversation. And if they're interested, great. And if they're not, it doesn't matter. But us making a decision for somebody, that's not it. And that's why when Tony talks about all those limiting beliefs, well, it's because you're deciding that it's not for somebody. You've already decided that it's not. And I'm like, who are we? Like, who are we to make that decision? Like, it doesn't work that way, right? And so for us, we don't decide on anything, do we?
No.
So this is something that is taught in sales, is do not try and sell from your own pocket. Just because you wouldn't buy it doesn't mean someone else wouldn't. But getting a no from a sale, getting pushback from a sale saying, oh, I don't really need that right now, is incredibly different than getting not only no, but do you know that that's a pyramid scheme? Do you know? And getting, some people will give you entire things. Some people will be like, this is incredibly annoying and disrespectful. Like, that you would even offer me this opportunity that I know 99.9% of people aren't going to make any money with.
We decide we are going to talk to people.
Yeah.
All the rest
a lot of people,
it doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. You go from, like, not knowing anything about this business, I call it like you're an amateur, to your goal is to become a professional as fast as possible, right? To get really good at the business. Because, again, we're professionals. I mean, again, if you do this business the right way, you'll have a blast. And we focus on speed over perfect messaging all the time when it comes to talking to people, recruiting people, asking them to take a look. You don't need to be perfect with the exact script, with the exact words, with exactly how you're going to say it. You don't need to think about it for a whole day to reach out to somebody because you want to make sure that everything is perfect the way you think it needs to be. Like, all that stuff slows you down. It gets you not productive. It makes you not having much fun in the business, and you're not getting to your goals. You're not getting to the results that you want to get to at the end of the day. Because here's the thing, if you're going to carve out a little bit of time like Sarah talked about, what you got to focus on is what you can control. And what you can control is reach outs, is what you can control is asking people to take a look. I mean, this past weekend, we had this little chart made, and we had it, sent to us, and it was like a 100-box challenge, a 100 conversation challenge, right? Where you had this piece of paper and all these boxes, right? There was 100 of them in there. And, we got it out to everybody saying, hey, who wants to do this? Who's up for it? And your goal was, and this is what it's all about, to get people. It's not about signing up 100 people in this 100-box conversation challenge. It's about you just getting the confidence, getting the posture, getting in a rhythm to start reaching out to more than one person a week.
But the only way that you're going to get the confidence, guys, and get the rhythm is doing it.
To be honest, once again, not to be disrespectful, but they're kind of aging themselves in this, because you'll see a lot of younger people really pushing like the automated systems, really pushing, having this like platform that's, having a free course and, getting people to click on it like this, and then allowing, people to kind of reach out in that way to you, those who are interested. And that does seem like in my opinion, a better way, because at least the people that you're taking the time with are somewhat interested. They've somehow fallen into the trap based off of what you've put out there with your content. But because of Modere, the age of Modere, the age of them, and based off of what I've seen when I put in hashtag Nueva, whatever it is, hashtag, blah, 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 I have seen, similar ages to them in terms of their representatives. And so they're kind of doing the classic multi-level, write a list of 100 people. That's what their $100 challenge truly is. Write a list of 100 people and contact them. Not saying that all of them will join, but saying that you're going to contact those 100 people. And how many times have we heard these, like I do on the funnel files, where it's them saying, this doesn't work anymore. Like, nobody wants to be hit up about it. It's annoying to do, and it's incredibly hard to do. And who's going to think of 100 people? And how disingenuous is it to, reach out to someone that you've never met before, that is a mutual of a mutual of a mutual. It's just so inappropriate, to be honest. Just my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I know that we probably sound like we're on a soapbox today, but we have so many people that will reach out and they're like, how do I recruit? I need more people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, you have got to be willing to have the conversations, even if you're not feeling confident, even if you're not feeling like you have a rhythm. Like, the only way that you can create any of that stuff, guys, is by the doing. Like, we got to quit, like, telling ourselves, I'm afraid, or I don't know. Being afraid is a choice, right? Being shy is a choice. Like, all these things and these emotions and these feelings that we have, those are all things that we choose, right? So why not choose feeling empowered? Why not choose feeling like, as Tony talked about, you have a gift? Why not choose that you bring the joy, right? Why not choose that people that you talk to?
For those who do suffer from a mental illness, that is incredibly incorrect. And that is something that I do see that often multi-level marketing representatives do not accurately represent, is that there is a level of charisma and extrovertedness that you do need to have in order to be successful in this business. And we talk about this quite often in my channel, is the level of transparency about the attributes that would be extremely helpful if you wanted to be, or had any hopes ever of being successful in an MLM business structure.
Who are going to be open to your business, right? Like, you have to be, I tell people, like, the only way that you're going to create all that is going to come from the doing. But I think we have to quit telling ourselves that, like, this business is hard. It's hard if you're not talking to people. Yes, guys, it's hard. It's hard if you're not doing the reach outs. It's hard if you're not, like, getting out of your comfort zone. But I will tell you, like, being uncomfortable, guys, that needs to be the place that you love to be. Like, over the years, I hated feeling uncomfortable. But I also knew that was the only place where I knew that if I was uncomfortable, I was winning. Right? If you're taking notes right now, I want you to write that down. If you are uncomfortable, you are winning. If you are comfortable in this business specifically, you are not winning. You are not winning. And a lot of people just tend to kind of sit in this comfort bubble where they're like, well, I'll do a post here because I'm comfortable doing that, right? Like, we actually just launched this thing on referral posts, which are everything, right?
I find that statement to be incredibly inaccurate. Uncomfortability is your body's defense mechanism to let you know what it is okay with to do. It's a stress, it's cortisol, it is, what feels right to your conscience, to your morals, to your instincts. And as Christians, sometimes we can even say, what is God letting you know is a good thing to do? I always go back to Hello Bitty made this amazing comment that she was like, that uncomfortability, that uneasy feeling could be God telling you, ooh, this doesn't look so cutesy. So, and they're not getting religious, so I don't want to get too religious unless they do. But all of that to say that, yes, there are many positions in which you can grow from uncomfortability and get more comfortable, public speaking and going into meetings and challenging yourself with new projects. Absolutely. Totally. That is true. But in order to be successful, you must be uncomfortable. That is absolutely not true.
Like, my God, referrals are everything, not just in network marketing, but in every business. Some people, they're not comfortable with the referral posting. And I'm like, well, if you're not comfortable with it, that's a good thing, right? Like, you've got to get out there and do it. And so I just want to encourage you guys, like, whenever I'm feeling uncomfortable with so much stuff in this business, the conversations, the reaching up, the having a conversation with someone that maybe I'm a little bit intimidated by, meaning I'm inspired by them, or I know they're, just someone that I really look up to. Like, if I'm uncomfortable and I'm doing that reach out, in my mind, I'm like, you're winning, Sarah, you're winning, right? And so I just want to encourage you guys that, like, learn to fall in love with the uncomfortable place in your business, because that's when you know you're winning.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is when you...
That's what she said, you're winning. And once again, don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe you're not listening to yourself, your body, your instincts, your intuition, and potentially even to God.
Start recruiting people is that your goal is to get them some type of win right away, whether it's a first customer, a first distributor, maybe they are on a company-wide event and they opted in to watch the whole thing for the first time. They're maybe putting themselves out there and telling their story to everybody inside of a group, telling a little bit about their background and why they're excited about the business, what they look for. And community is everything. Like, we have this event coming up in Dallas. And if you're in Dallas, make sure to reach out to us because we'd love to get together and see you. We'll be out there next week. We have our first ever event in Dallas next weekend. And we're so excited because, the last 6 months, we've been like building for this big event that's going to be happening next week.
We've been in this house. We're excited to get out of here.
It's going to be great to be around community. Just know this. This business is all about community. This business is all about getting together, spending some time, and just, hugging on people, loving on people, recognizing people, celebrating people. Sure, we can do that virtually and we can do that from afar. That's why the online game is so awesome. But there's nothing like, in my opinion, now you might have a different opinion about this, but there's nothing like spending time with people in an event, at a hotel, hanging out at restaurants, hanging out in the halls, having breakfast together, having lunch together, having dinner together. Like, all those things are the best thing ever.
So going back before he got distracted by him pushing his conference, is what he was saying is that if you can't essentially help them get like a new customer or whatever, love bomb them. But like, be so proud of them for sharing their story or speaking up or whatever, love bomb them. That's what I heard. Tell me if you heard something different. But now he's going on trying to push this conference because we all know that their conferences aren't about educating their representatives, aren't about letting them know about new products, important company information, things of that nature. No. It's about a brainwashing, in my opinion, this is all my own opinion, but it's a brainwashing little party where they get fired up and excited and they stick around usually a lot longer. They get their team to stick around a lot longer. And that's usually what those events are all about.
Like, one of the things that we know, and this was a game changer for us, because we understand that for you to really have a business that you're really proud of and that really you're like, dang, this thing is awesome, is that you've got to have as many people as possible from your organization come to an event. And when they're at an event, I'm just telling you what, things change for them immediately. And talk about it a little bit, because you've been helping putting our event together with some other amazing people. But why is it so powerful for this event?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing is like events can do things that we can never really do for our people, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, I feel like it's kind of like I tell people, you can either watch a really cool concert on TV or you could be at the concert, right? And being there, the feeling is completely different. It's the energy, it's the camaraderie, it's the one-off conversations, it's the belief building where you're like, oh my gosh, I could actually do this. You know, I think specifically for us, you know, because we have been in pre-launch and kind of into this launch now, it's just the, oh my gosh, like this is really real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we've been talking about this for so long, and not for so long, it feels like it's so long, but just, mm-hmm. you know, the last 3-4 months. And so, you know, I think that's a thing too, is the event thing is just, it's so important. I know a lot of you guys, you've got your events for your companies, but I will tell you though too, I mean, you know, for us, some of you guys have maybe seen some of the posts we've done before where, you know, the events are really what, number one, got us going individually, right, mm-hmm. before we met, but also the events kept us going. Yeah. Right? And so I think that's a thing too, because even like for us, you know, even as leaders, I bet my voice is cracked, that's hilarious. But even as us as leaders, right, events for us are important. Right? It fills us back up. It allows us to hang out with people and be with people, and we get poured into, you know, just as much as we get to pour back into people.
Enough with the pouring. And to be honest, the pouring that they're getting is money.
So the event piece for us is just like, it's something that just like for us, it just reminds us like, okay, this is why we work so hard. Right? And so when you get to these events too, even for yourself, you're like, oh, this is why I work so hard, right? It's just kind of a little reminder, you know, a little bit of, you know, whisper in your ear when you're at when you show up and you're like, this is why. Oh, okay, thank you for that, right? So it's a life breather. It really is.
Yeah, and you've got to be inspired. Like one of the things, you know, I talked about when we started this live was really what's happened to our vision, leadership, and really how we see what's possible in what we're currently doing. And it's at a highest level that, you know, we've ever really been at when it comes to what we really see happening here. What we already see that's happened, which is just phenomenal, you know, just incredible in this short window. And like Sarah said, it's like still in pre-launch, ready to go into launch really, really soon. But you've got to be like fired up. Like if you're not fired up, if you're not inspired, if you're not like having a blast, you're doing it wrong. Like you gotta like be there, because one, life's too short, and there's so many different companies and businesses out there, whether it's network marketing, traditional business, whatever it is. And you've got to be in a place where like you are really going, man, I'm gonna help so many people. I'm gonna change so many lives. Man, the people I get to work with are just absolutely phenomenal. Wow, these events, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Man, these products are phenomenal. Wow, this comp plan rewards people for selling, for building, a mix of both. It's not set up for just the people that build and recruit a lot to make all the money. It's really an equal playing field. It's really a home for everybody. And you got to have a business like that today. So like for us, like our vision has never been stronger, bigger, bolder, more exciting. You know, like we see things that we didn't see a year ago.
You know, his like on fire that he's like promoting his people to have, it's so nice at a traditional job. Most of them, for example, teachers and things of that nature, they do have to have a lot of enthusiasm all throughout the day. They really have to be on. They're made sure to have breaks in between. Their day does typically end early in terms of, you know, the time frame that they have to be in front of students, because it's very draining, so draining. I just can't imagine being on fire in that way all the time, because once again, if you really truly want to have an inkling, the scotiest, tiniest little minuscule chance of being successful in one of these businesses, you do have to work at it nonstop. And so if you do have a family and you're on fire, like Tony says, and then you have to, go be a parent, which being a parent, you got to be on, and then be a spouse potentially too, and then be a friend, and then be a daughter or a son to your parent, and a sister and a friend, and that's just tiring. And it's nice for a traditional job to not have to be like that. You do your job and you do it well, maybe during a meeting or a presentation or during certain times, you do have to be a little bit more on, but it's not this fire that has to be lit within you, like so intense, like they're saying right now.
I will tell you that you talk about being inspired, right?
Yeah.
I think being inspired is important. It comes from different things. Do I get inspired by different people in our company? For sure, right? I was just on a call with John Melton. I'm extremely inspired by him. I just am inspired, period. But I will tell you, like, those things are important, but I will tell you guys, the way that you are going to stay inspired is you got to do the action. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like, if you do the action, you get...
That reminds me of the lady, Rebecca Pfeiffer. You got to do the do. You got to do the do. And by action, she means create a list of 100 people and constantly be reaching out and be on fire for a chance to make no money.
Get inspired. It's not the other
Go to our conference.
way around, right? You'll have a little bit of, inspiration here or there, but like the long term. And for me, I was so backwards for so long, where I was like, I need to be inspired. I need to be motivated. And I'm like, no, it's the other way around. It's the action taking that's going to get me, that's going to keep me motivated, right? It's the action taking that's where I'm going to get the inspiration from. And so I want to encourage you guys, like, in a world of people that just talk, be the person that does. Like, be the doer. There's some people who are like, what's the secret to success? You know what the secret is? It's being a doer. It's actually doing the dang work. Like, it's actually like not just talking about it, not just putting a list together, not just doing a post, not just like...
You know what the funny thing is, though, is that their job is talking. And it's not just talking, it is talking. And if that makes no sense, let me elaborate, is that a lot of what they say is BS. It's literally just trash that they put out there. This entire thing has been, even though they're doing this call or they're doing this presentation, whatever you want to call it, they are just talking about a bunch of crap. That's it. And so when these people are texting or calling or creating a live for people to look at, whatever the heck they're doing, they're just talking out their booty. That's it. And most of the time they have nothing to back it up. Like these people, they don't have an income disclosure to back it up. They don't have quality products that have never been discovered before that are FDA approved, to my knowledge. This is all to my knowledge, to my understanding. They don't have, all of that kind of stuff to really set them apart. No, they're just another network marketing company trying to convince you to join them so that you can become the next network marketing millionaire because you got in early enough. That's it.
Saying I'm here, not just sitting on a team huddle. It's the doing. It's the doing. And I look at people, I'm like, guys, like it's not that hard, but you got to be willing to do the work. And unfortunately, most people, they're not willing to be the doer. And I want to encourage you guys, like, if you really want success, if you really want to build a significant business, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. And for Tony and I, we're not afraid to do the work. We've been rolling up our sleeves for 30 years. Like what I do, what Tony does, we do every day. We've been doing it for the last 30 years, guys. Like, we know that, like, we have to, like, walk our talk. We can't just talk the talk. We can't just talk. And I just see so many people.
And we know that because you've been in it for 30 years, you have had that last 30 years to build a downline that you are able to take from company to company to company. And 30 years ago, there was not the level of public information, education readily available for the average consumer to just googly wiggly smoogly that the new network marketer, the new participant in their scheme, has to go up against. And so for them just to say, oh, it's just as easy as doing the do, that's what we've been doing for 30 years, it's incredibly different for a brand new person who's starting today than it is for the Zoleskis. And if they say anything different, they are delusional, in my opinion.
People in our profession, they are great talkers. But when it comes down to being a doer, they're not. And that's why they're not inspired. And that's why they're not motivated. And that's why they need their upline to keep encouraging them. That's why they think they need all of these things that they're supporting on, or they need to keep them upright. Well, to keep you upright, you got to do the work. And that's what's going to keep you guys upright. And so I just want to encourage you, be the doer. Be the doer in your business.
I love that. So if you got some value out of this, make sure you share it out. Make sure you tag somebody that needs to hear this. And if you want our blueprint of what we did these last 6 months to create over 7 million in sales and 20,000 people in the team, 9,000 customers, and it's growing like crazy every single month, just put blueprint in the comments and I'll reach out and make sure you get that. And just know this, this is the time. This season for network marketing, in my opinion, is going to be the biggest season of what's going to happen in our profession as we close out the year and go into a new year. Everyone is coming our way into our profession. They want to make more money. They want to have more time freedom. They want to travel the world. They want to help more people. And they want to just live an amazing life. And you have the ability to do that every single day if you make that decision with us. So we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Make sure to tag someone, share this out, and we'll see you on the next live. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Interesting that he said time freedom. Lots and lots of companies don't allow you to even say time freedom. Of course, it's their own company. They can say whatever the heck they want, but it's because of allegations against them that they're restricted and make those policies and procedures to protect themselves from any kind of legal action. I do want to go back to what he said in regards to those numbers and see if I can't piece some information out based off of that. I can't even find their website. But if they have 20,000 people on their team, that means each only spent $350 in the span of the last 6 months. So divided by 6 months equals $58 that they've spent per month. Interesting. I'm not including any customers in that. Include customers, then their sales goes down even further. Those are not impressive numbers, to be honest, based off of if they're considering the 20,000 team members to be someone who has purchased their starter kit. And I cannot find their website to determine how much their starter kit is. With that being said, I'm sorry that there was no faith manipulation in there. My apologies for that. But that's okay. Every once in a while we can do one of these videos. No big deal. Thank you so much for watching Saved Not Scammed with me, Kayla. I appreciate you. You have a good day. Bye.